Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to the Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to the 12 Alvars of the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. And I welcome Lord Dham, Mother Sita, Hanumanbaba, Lord Bharat, Lord Lakshman, and Lord Shatrughna to the Sri Narayan Dham and to planet Earth. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally, and I welcome those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted in the various groups from around the world subsequently. We continue. This is day 1 of our 21-day lockdown in South Africa, and this is day 3 of Lord Ram entering our atmosphere for the celebrations. He uses various excuses to visit this planet. The ultimate excuse is to be close to his children. The ultimate excuse is to be close to his children who are languishing in this material world. So one of the excuses that God uses when he descends to this material universe is to set up religious principles and to annihilate. Charles, you can sit there, disturbing. And to annihilate the demonic forces. In this excuse of God coming down to his creation and the various creations in the various universes, his purpose is absolute. And when he enters this material atmosphere, then he gets into character of the avatar that he is coming as. And this avatar of Lord Ram, he had to come down as a human being to annihilate Ravana. So the Lord is always all-knowing. The Lord is always all-knowing, and the reason he is always all-knowing because he is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresence. It means that God is everywhere at the same time. And if an entity is everywhere at the same time, then he has to be all knowing. So God is in the soul of every living entity. God resides within the soul of every living entity. He lives in the soul of the ant. He lives in the soul. He lives in the soul of the elephant, and he lives in the soul of man. He knows the movement of every creature that he has created. He lives in every atom of the material universe that he has created. So he lives in earth, he lives in the air, he lives in space, he lives in fire, and he lives in water. So if God lives in everything that is contained in his creation, then he is all knowing. He knows what you think, he knows what you need, and he knows what you want. Everything is within the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. So when Lord Ram took his birth from Kaushalya, and when Lord Lakshman took his birth from Sumitra, when Shatrughna took his birth from Sumitra, and when Bharat took his birth from Keke, it was the Lord in his four forms. Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And the Lord is all knowing all the time. The Lord is not all knowing some of the time. And this is the mistakes we humans make when we want the help of the Lord. Then we say that he is all knowing, and when we make nonsense, then we believe the Lord is not all knowing, and he doesn't see, he doesn't hear, and he doesn't know the nonsense that we are making. And this is a big mistake, because the Lord is all knowing all the time. And then, if you follow the storyline, you will wonder how there is this pain, this suffering, this confusion, this loyalty, disloyalty, amazement, suspense, drama that the Lord in his four forms is found in. And the reason behind all of this is when the Lord comes down as an avatar, he gets into character of the avatars and the various manifestations. Getting into character means when an actor reads a script, when an actor reads a script and then he acts as per the script. So he loses his own identity and takes on the identity of the character that he is enacting. An actor might act as a king, and when he acts as a king, then he will dress like a king. You will see him with a kingdom and his queen, and then when he finishes act, he is a person other than that part which he acted. And similarly, the Lord takes on various characters, and because the Lord is absolute, then he takes these characters in its absolute dimension. So the Lord is all-knowing. His various manifestations are also all-knowing. So we must not get confused when we find that the Lord is surprised, the Lord is excited, the Lord is pleased, the Lord is disappointed in his four forms in the Ramayana. He is neither of this. He is simply in character performing his functions on earth. And if we understand reading the Ramayana from this dimension, then we're going to understand it as history and not a mythology. Because one would want to know, why was there so much of confusion in the Ramayana or in the history of the Ramayana if Lord Ram was God, if Lord Lakshman was his manifestation, and if Bharat was his manifestation, and if Shatrughna was his manifestation, then why these characters acted in pain? Why were they bewildered? Why they were shocked? Why they were in disbelief? And the confusion arises. And this is why people portray the Ramayana as a myth, because they do not understand that when God comes as an avatar, when he enacts, then he has to enact that particular character in its entirety. Otherwise, the sport of God or the game of God will be spoiled. It will be spoiled. So if God has to live in the character of a beggar, then he'll have to suffer all the consequences a beggar suffers. And if God has to play the character of a king, then he will enjoy all the opulences a king enjoys. Depending on his character, the Lord will not deviate, although he is all-knowing. Then the Lord will also teach mankind in the portrayal of his character how to live his or her life. So remember, we stated that when Lord Ram, and Ram means the source of all pleasure. Ram means the source of all pleasure, translated from Sanskrit to English. And when Lord Ram was married, he lived as a prince, and his wife was a princess, Mother Sita, and they lived happily for 12 perfect years. And when he was a prince, he was adorned in princely clothing, and he lived a princely, opulent life. And Mother Sita, as a princess, she lived adorned as a princess with all the opulences that a princess can enjoy. And both of them, Mother Sita was a princess in her own right, and since King Janaka found her, she was living the life of a princess. And Lord Ram, since his birth, was living the life of a prince. There is absolutely nothing short in the life of a prince or a princess. They have many maid servants who cater for their every need. A prince or princess is absolutely short of nothing. When Lord Ram was to be coronated as king, the material opulence both that him and Mother Sita enjoyed, there was going to be no difference. The only difference would be the responsibility of running a kingdom. And when Lord Ram was encountered with the situation that he must be exiled in the forest, and be stripped of all his material opulences together with and when Mother Sita decided to join her husband, and she also to be stripped of all the material opulences, there was no shift in their happiness. They were neither happy nor sad. Lord Ram was to sit on his throne made of gold. And he was informed that now he have to sit on the ground. It did not matter to him whether he sat on a throne in gold, diamond, and precious stone, or whether he sat on a kusa grass. He was to wear tree bark. He had to leave his clothes and wear tree bark. And Mother Sita had to leave her clothing and also wear tree bark. From being served with a variety of dishes, they now had to eat plant roots and whatever the forest could give them. From sleeping in the most opulent palace, in the best of beds, they now had to sleep in the wild, on grass, and suffer the calamities of weather, insects, of reptiles. Lord took it in his stride. He took it in his stride. Within a few seconds, when he was informed that he needed to keep his father's word, he needed to keep his father's word, he was prepared to sacrifice himself. This relationship between father and son, and the word of the father, and the discipline that a son must have of his father, was taught by the Lord himself. Was taught by the Lord himself. And this is synchronized in the Upanishads, where it is stated that one must respect one's mother, one must respect one's father, one must respect one's guru, and one must respect one's guests. And if these four entities are respected, then you can call yourself a human being. If you do not respect your mother, if you do not respect your father, if you do not respect your guru, if you do not respect your guests, then you are even worse than an animal. You are even worse than an animal. So this is a Vedic injunction, and Lord Ram is exhibiting it perfectly. No shift in accepting opulence, and no shift when that opulence was removed. And we know it is easy to say that because he was the Supreme Lord, then he could shift from these two dimensions in ease. But the Lord came for the very reason to teach mankind that it does not matter how opulent you are. It only matters how obedient you are to the regulative principles that are set out for the society by the Lord. Which means that you must live within the parameters of the rules and regulations that the Lord has set out for you. Don't worry about richness, and don't worry about poverty. Richness will take care of itself, and poverty will take care of itself. If you live within the rules of the Lord, then the Lord will take care of your every need. And this is shown throughout the Ramayana. This is shown throughout the Ramayana. And it also shows that this human body is awarded for pleasure and pain. Pleasure and pain. The Lord experienced pleasure and the Lord also experienced pain. And as long as you are in this material universe, and as long as you have a material body, then pleasure and pain is the substratum of these material bodies. So I'm going to stop the discourse at this point, and I'm going to again ask all those that are living during lockdown in whichever country you are, please obey of the country that you live in. Learn in this period patience and tolerance. Learn patience and tolerance. And give gratitude. Give gratitude for all those that are making your stay a comfort in your house by sacrificing themselves on the front line. All those people that's working to ensure that you get food, to ensure you get water, to ensure your lights are on. Everyone working in essential services, we should give our heartfelt gratitude throughout this lockdown for the great sacrifices that they are making, which includes the policemen, the army, the pharmacies, the surgeries, the hospitals, the supermarkets, the grocers, the traffic policemen, whoever is involved, the courts, whoever is involved in working during this lockdown, give them your heartful gratitude. Respect them, obey them, have patience, have tolerance. For this, we need to stop the circulation of the virus. We need to stop. The virus is already here. The virus is already around the world. We need to stop it further circulating. We need to stop it from circulating further. So if you are in a public place, stand 1.5 meters from each other. And that is the first point where you can stop the circulation of this virus. This virus is found in your phlegm and in your saliva, and it cannot jump for more than 1 meter. So stay 1.5 meters away. Wash your hands. Wash your hands thoroughly. Wash everything in a public place thoroughly. If you stop the circulation, and the circulation can only be stopped with you. No matter how great the lockdown is, the actual physical circulation belongs to every single individual. You either have the virus, or you can become a host of the virus that somebody else has. So if you are infected already, then take all the precautions that are given to you, and if you are not infected, then take all the precautions that are given to you to break this chain of circulation. If you break the chain of circulation, then the virus is going to die in its tracks. And the responsibility is not with the government, is not with the army, it's not with essential services. The responsibility is with you. You need to break the circulation of this virus. And the greatest anecdote in this time the best medicine is to constantly play and hear the Vishnu Sahasranam. And those of you that have access to cow dung, light cow dung and fumigate your dwelling, fumigate your yard, for the cow dung has potential to kill all viruses. Cow dung has potential to kill all viruses, and cow dung has already proven that not even radiation can exist in its atmosphere. Jai Shri.